A new season underway. I mean, I don't think you could have written the script much better than tonight, but I guess how are you feeling after the first show?
Jeez. Something like that. He was excited too. Well, you know, the first three fights kicked off finishes, and then it kind of just grabbed, you know, that kind of set the pace. But I mean, our last fight was just, the co-main and the main was just amazing.
Yeah.
You know, that Jeremy Stephens fight with Clay is going to go down, you know, in history as one of the best fights. I mean, those guys, like, I mean, listen, we all know Jeremy Stephens is a warrior, as well as Clay. But, you know, you just don't know until the fight happens, and they showed up.
I was gonna say, there's people saying maybe the greatest fight in PFL history, or at least one of them. I mean, do you feel like it's one of the greatest fights in PFL history?
Oh, for sure, 100%. Yeah.
And talk to me about Stephens at this point in his career, right? Because he's, you know, you guys brought him in, gave him a chance. He came up short tonight,
right.
But I see a lot of people saying, I mean, like I said, as entertaining as it gets. So are you happy with his performance?
Yeah, I mean, you can't be upset at the guy. I mean, the guy was right there, you know, from the beginning to the end, and he, you know, he was still banging it out with Clay, and he hit Clay with some big shots. Clay hit him with some big shots, and they were going back and forth. You know what I mean? And so, not many people can do that. You know what I mean? Even at his age as well. And you know, he's been around the game a while, but absolutely, I thought he definitely deserves credit for not only being there, but also putting on such an exciting fight with Clay.
House was in here earlier, and all week he was saying, you know, respectfully, but he's like, man, I think I should have been in the main event, you know, reigning champion.
Right.
So I guess talk to me about that. You know, your look at it. He said that either him or Shoeface should have been the main event because they're kind of the reigning champs, right? So what is the decision-making process? How does that go?
Well, and they're right in some ways, but when you looked at Jeremy Stephens, and I know both how these both guys fight, there was no way that fight was going to disappoint. And as you saw, what happened, right? Everybody showed up tonight and they fought well, but then those two guys, you know, closed off the night the way they did. You know, afterwards, Peter and I looked at each other and were like, yeah, no, that was the right decision. You know what I mean? Because we weren't sure, but we were sure that, you know, I mean, we were thinking, okay, this fight, there's no way this fight could disappoint. And thank God they didn't.
Clay has made it clear that he wants to fight House again as soon as possible, anytime.
Right.
What do you think? Is that a fight that you would look to put together in the regular season, or is it one that, let's see how the playoffs shake out, because if there's more stakes on the line, it's more intriguing?
I just got to go back and look at, you know, how the fights pan out for everybody tonight, and then look at it if it makes sense for them to fight in the second regular season fight. I'll make it happen. But if not, then, you know, again, there's the playoffs, and four guys got to make that playoffs. And so I think when I look at it all in all, I think it'd be ideal to leave it for the playoffs. But that's, you know, just depends on when I look at the cards and see and look at all the results for tonight and then go from there.
Last thing for me, I just want to ask you if there were any other standout names, surprises, like anything you weren't expecting. I mean, obviously everybody's buzzing about the main event, but anybody else kind of really make their mark with you tonight?
Well, I think everybody showed up the way I thought they would. You know, Shoeface, I mean, he did that so fast. I don't know if he realized that he actually hit him with that right hand, took him down, and then choked him out. And JP made a good point. Like in 29 seconds, he was able to catch him with the right hand, take him down, and then submit him. You know, so that was pretty quick. But yeah, no, I thought everybody showed up and fought well tonight.
Hey Ray, so the Arlington Esports Arena, many would see that as an interesting move for an MMA promotion to use the services, but how have you liked the experience of them, and kind of your thoughts on being this innovative promotion, using the Esports Arena? Like, that makes sense.
Well, all you got to do is just look at the arena tonight, right? I mean, that speaks for itself. It was an amazing arena. The way it was set up, it reminded me of my days in K1. So, you know, bright lights, and it looked amazing.
And Amari Ahmedov, obviously getting one of the biggest moments of his career tonight. Reflecting on that, what was your immediate reaction after you scored that knockout?
I was right to keep him.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey Ray, there's on the prelim, Simeon Powell showed up. That vicious knee. I just want your thoughts on that fight.
Man, you know, a lot of props to that guy, because he gets the contract, the developmental contract, what, 2.5 weeks ago? Stays in Miami for 3 days, gets on the flight, flies back home to England. He lands, gets the phone call, hey, you're fighting, in the, we got to fight for you. Jumps back on the plane the next day, comes out and performs like that. I mean, I think that kid's got a big future.
Is he a guy that, knock on wood, if someone falls out of the season, you put him in? I'm
not sure about that. He's 6-0 now. I'm not sure because I think he's a talent that I want to build a little bit more. But that's a conversation I think that he and I would have. But I mean, really, if I would like for him to have maybe 2, 3, 4 more fights and put him in the season 2023. I think that's the direction I like for him to go because I don't want to. He's already he shows a lot of potential. So I want to build him slowly and then put him in the season rather than just throwing him in there.
And then one last for me, Rob Wilkerson. All the hardcore fans knew how good this guy was. He came out there, did a statement, man. I just wanted your thoughts on him.
No, again, like I said, everybody showed up. I was impressed with what he did, and like you said, he wanted to take him down and try and finish the fight, and he did. So, all these new guys that come into the season, when they come, when they debut like that, that they're going places.
Ray, quick question. Corey Hendricks was a massive underdog, and I believe he shocked a lot of people tonight. I just wanted to get your thoughts. What was your thought on his performance?
I don't know why he was such an underdog because Corey has a lot of experience, and he's fought at at ACA. He pretty much fought everywhere, and so I wasn't surprised the way the fight went. But I did find out later that I guess Emiliano, and this is not taking anything away from Corey, but Emiliano went in there with a hurt knee or bung up knee or something. I think they said that he hurt his ACL, so I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, that's what he said afterwards. But that fight was for me, that fight was gonna be a 50-50 fight anyway, and the outcome and the result didn't surprise me at all.
Last question for me: was there any performance? And of course, there was a lot of great ones, but anything that stood out to you?
You cannot go past the main event. You know what I mean? Like that fight, it's just you could, as a fan, I could sit there and watch that fight again and again and again. You know what I mean? So that's definitely the highlight of tonight, and obviously that's going to be the fight of the night. But I also like the way Omari finished. Hector Pesta. I didn't think that fight would finish like that. I thought it was going to be, maybe second, third round, something may happen there, but man, Murray wanted to make a statement tonight, and he certainly did.
Thank you, Ray.